Hey guys, so just jumping right in, going over my results. So this was something that I mentioned I would cover in a bit of detail, so I think this is an excellent summary here, going over essentially some things that describe what I think went on. So if we compare this with my picture from last week, right, which was 255.2 pounds. That is a 0.4 pound weight loss, which is not adding up. The math is not adding up, and I know exactly why. So, as you guys know, the process is generally calories in versus calories out. However, there are additional components that contribute to weight gain or weight loss, right? So in my example, you guys have been tracking. I'll just say this. In my case, it is more than likely the cause for the relatively low decrease in weight is likely due to water retention. And water retention usually comes from like a series of different reasons, right? Most common are when you're talking about water retention, and most common, in my personal experience and based on my research on this, I've done extensive research on water retention and how it affects and everything like that. I've been following just different stuff like that, within that domain for quite some time. But yeah, water retention from high sodium intake. That was a big one for me. In fact, for quite some time, I used to, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I was on a series of low sodium diets. And, obviously I'm no longer on a low sodium diet because oftentimes my sodium intake exceeds 1500, regularly exceeds 2000. Different topics, different discussion for a different day, but yeah, sugar can be another one. Particularly added sugar can lead to water retention. So dehydration in some very unique cases can lead to water retention. A sharp increase in carbohydrate consumption can lead to water retention. So there are just so many different ways that you can actually, I guess, quote unquote, suffer from water retention. Oh, another one, which I think is actually one of the primary, if not the biggest, contributor to my lackluster weight loss here. It is lack of activity, right? So obviously you sweat, and through sweat you excrete water, right? And so that's something to notice as well. And I've noticed that even, just 2 days, obviously not recently, but like in the past when I wasn't very consistent with my workouts, I noticed that in the past, just a weekend, right, like 2 days, just a weekend of very low activity, or even activity that is much lighter than what you're usually, or your body is usually accustomed to, can I've noticed just with my body, I can add 5 pounds over the weekend, just in pure water. I actually drink at least a gallon of water every single day. I have a 1 gallon. It's a black 1 gallon RTIC. I believe that's what it's called. Sorry guys, I have an alarm. Yeah, it's called RTC or RTIC. Yeah, I have the black one. It's a big metal one, and that's actually what I used. Funny enough, I actually fill that up in the morning, and I walk up steep inclines with it, and I pretty much went over, interestingly, how not having it after a gym day when I did my incline made an interesting contribution to me injuring my knee. Just look at the 2 videos where I discuss knee recovery and knee pain. There should be 2 or 3 videos, but the two most recent videos, if they're not the only videos on the topic, go over that in further detail. But yeah, it makes a really big difference, like a really big difference in terms of the challenge. But yeah, yeah, guys, this is a little discouraging. My hopes and expectations are that next week this number goes down considerably because I have been tracking my calories down to the gram. I actually have a food measurer. I use my sources from the nutritional facts labels from the places that I buy my groceries, and when those are available, I use the U.S. Department of Agriculture nutritional facts, right, for things like I guess we would call commodity items like my flaxseed, chia seed, bananas, stuff that usually doesn't come with a in a packaging label or anything like that. So yeah, I know that I'm losing weight. I know that I should have lost at least a pound because I have been consistently getting above 1,000 caloric deficits each day, especially since last week, since my last weekly check-in on Monday. So I should have at least lost 1 pound, right? And I'm pretty sure on average I'm getting like a pound and a half. Sorry, it should be maybe somewhere like that. I don't know. I want to say that my deficit on average is about 1,500, but I don't have the math to support that. But I do know at a bare minimum it should be at least 1 pound because my deficits are definitely above 1,000. They're always above 1,000. You guys have been following my journey, my food intake. You guys know what I'm eating. In some cases I won't provide a list, but like I believe in the most previous example I didn't provide a list, but it's something that I don't feel like it just wouldn't make sense to cheat. But I'll just for added accountability, it's going to take a little bit more time, but hey, we'll just go over it really quickly. Just the most recent example. We're not going to go, day by day, week by week. I'm not going to go over the previous results or previous itemized food items right in this video, but I'm just going to make sure I include that in this video and future videos. Okay, so here we go. We have the calories here, and this has improved substantially. Here, there are a couple of items that don't contain macros, but you guys will see on the video, tomorrow's video covering today's calorie intake and exertion, that virtually everything is filled out. There's a number here. I think it's not necessarily here, but it's on the mobile app. It says a certain number of calories uncategorized, and so I got the number down to 10. 10 calories are uncategorized. I'm still trying to figure out why that's the case. I'm not sure why. Maybe I did notice that for one of the items that when I put in 1.5, it just went down to 1. And I know that there are other items where it may be 1.5, 2.5, something like that, and it may be just rounding it up. And I didn't catch it. I just entered in the data. But 10 calories. We're tracking macros, right? I'm like I have a food scale, so I know exactly how much weight I'm getting of an item, right? But in terms of just the macro thing, that's going to be, I don't know. It's 10 calories, and you guys will see, that's out of 2,000, right? So here's this. Okay. Just going down the list. Yeah, so something I noticed as well is I had a really high protein intake of 175. This is very, very good. I'm very proud of this. I'm looking forward to keeping my protein intake anywhere between 25 to 30. My goal is to shoot for 30, frankly. If I can exceed that, that's amazing. And so, yeah, what really helps contribute to this is the 2 cans of black beans. So for lunch, I had 2 cans instead of having 1 pound of not one 1 cup of quinoa or 1 cup of rice. I just had 2 cans of black beans, which comes out to about 80 or 90 calories more uh, when it relative to the white quinoa, which is my usual, right? However, I am getting more than twice the protein, so I think the 90 calorie trade-off is very worth it. That is a very reasonable sacrifice to make, in my opinion. So yeah, this is pretty much what I ate, and moving on. So yeah, looks like once again, not very ambitious results, as is typical when the weather is not really amazing. I just noticed I've consistently missed the distance marker. In fact, I can't remember the last time I met it. That's not good. I'm assuming, like, my expectation is that this is going to remain relatively intact. Well, the trend is, at least, because it looks like we're going to be facing a rainstorm for quite some time. So my goal is pretty much just to get in as many steps as possible. When it's not raining, watching the weather app like a hawk, so that way I can plan my time appropriately and most efficiently for getting my walks in during better weather. But yeah, all the other metrics exceeded, did pretty well. Not much cardio, yesterday, but we did get in some cardio and fat burn intensity there. So yeah, yeah. So the weather was uh, yeah, it wasn't too good, but I will say yesterday it was better. The weather was actually much better than it will be the remainder of this week, but it wasn't ideal. Um, However, I will say I could have done better. In fact, now that I think, yeah, I think I could have done a lot better, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna own this one. I'm not gonna put this one on the weather. The weather, yeah. I don't even think it was raining yesterday, but it's definitely raining today. Yeah, yeah. I ended up catching the bus to a really far location, and the goal was to, like, walk for a bit of it, and then I realized that, based on my time, that I wasn't going to be able to make it to the gym on time if I decided to walk that distance. And so that was a huge miscalculation on my part, trying to find a new location, right, to do my walks at. And so that's my fault. But it was still a relatively ambitious day. Got in quite a few floors, almost 40. So looking forward to that. My heart rate actually is uh, constant relative to the 12, relative to Sunday, which is great, right? This is a plateau that I'm looking forward to. So, and this makes sense because Monday I did pick up my activity as indicated by the floors and the calories. Um, so yeah, I'm noticing. I also yesterday did include my initial incline. Yeah, I got up pretty early for that, actually. So not as early as I would like. So pretty much, yeah, somewhere in between 5:45 and 5:50. So this is also something else I wanted to bring up. So I'm actually going to make a pretty big content change, or at least it's very likely that I will. So my Twitter is not really capturing the exact date that I'm making my post. I will, or at least I'm not seeing it, as I look at my tweets. So what I'm actually thinking about doing, I'm not I actually just came up with something. So before doing what I thought about doing, which I'm actually going to see if I can check with, like, a sock puppet account. I guess what Elon would call, and then people will call a bot account, just to see if I can actually see, or maybe look at someone else's tweet, right? See if I can see an exact date if it's in at like an exact time, if it's, quite some time since the tweet has been posted. But based on my knowledge, I can only see the date. And even for the YouTube post, I noticed that there isn't really an exact time there as well. So it really does seem like the most accurate indicator of when I'm waking up is this, right? It's Fitbit. So as a consequence, I'm thinking about using my Twitter not as an indicator, and I haven't been reliably using my Twitter or my YouTube posts because I've noticed this for quite some time. I haven't been reliably using those as an indicator of my early wake-up time. It's been my videos, whether it's me capturing my time, capturing my steps or calorie burn. In fact, I just want to see if I actually did get up. Let's see, steps, because I think that's a more reliable indicator. Yeah, so yeah, this is just low calories, 30 steps. So there is a 15-minute time window, but I think that's better. That's better than nothing, right? Because the thing is, I'm also thinking about whether or not first thing in the morning I should do my videos. Because right now my calendar is essentially to work out, to do my walk the first thing in the morning. However, I'm leaning towards doing the videos first thing in the morning because I think it would be a greater accountability tool. Not only that, but if I can knock out my videos early, it'll give me a lot more time to, do my walks. Like if maybe instead of just doing, I don't know, let's just say 5,000, I can do 6,000 because let's say I get my video done and, while it's, I finish the video and I click the button to upload it 15 minutes in, at 5:15, 5:20, that means I have 15 or 10 minutes more to, walk around. It's much difficult to do something else, right? Like it's much difficult, or the inverse, right? It's much more difficult to do a 30-minute walk, come back, and then I have my video finished, and I'm just like, oh, what do I do with this additional 5 or 10 minutes? And so, yeah, I'm actually, because if I get up and let's just say it takes my computer 5 minutes to boot, because there's no way in the world I would be able to get my laptop on, if I woke up at 5, I don't even think my laptop would be able to come on, by 5, right? It's probably going to take a little bit of time, but it's better than nothing, and I think it would be a great way to just knock it out, give myself some more time to walk around, so I'm not just awkwardly moving to the next stage of my routine, right? But I'm giving myself, I'm utilizing my efficiencies and making sure that my time is being as effectively budgeted as possible. So, and also we have some interesting Fitbit data. I don't know how this is being recorded, but this is very close, very, very close. In terms of the sleep time, which I'm trying to think, did I wake up at around 7:49 on Saturday? I'm not sure how they're counting this. So I think this is the time 10:45 has to be the time you go to bed. So that's why I'm I don't know. So it's saying, I guess, that I went to bed or got up at 7. I don't know. But I do recall getting very little sleep yesterday. In fact, I am absolutely tired at this very moment. Final thing to go over: caloric deficit is 452. See, it's approaching 1,500. I should be losing a pound and a quarter. So my deficits are definitely consistently above 125, or sorry, 1,250, which should translate to about Wait, hold on. Wait. One moment. Yeah, I just did the math, and yeah, I'm actually undercutting my result. Yeah, I should be losing 2 pounds, not 1 pound, because a 1,000 caloric deficit is, you know, a 1,000 caloric deficit over a weekly basis should add up to 7,000, and for every 3,500 you're supposed to lose a pound. So I should be losing. So the scale should have said 353. And I do occasionally get on the scale here and there, and during the week it did say 353. So that's why I'm just like, I drink a lot of water, and even on days I'm not very active, and so and that would especially be the case because I was recovering from decreased activity from my knee. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks that those results are not captured. My hopes are by the time the weekly weigh-in comes in, right, next Monday, that I should actually be below 250, right? Because if it's 255, and then if it's supposed to be 253, it should be 251 actually. So sorry, yeah, 251. So somewhere between 250 and 251, right? That is if my water intake is not, or my water retention is not, as bad as it was last week, Sunday night / Monday morning. So yeah, that's it. This was a bit of a longer video because I felt like it was justified to go over a lot of things, right? Particularly the water retention stuff. I did mention in yesterday's video that I would go over in detail, and I do want these videos to consistently be, or at least I would say I want these videos to be like 90% of the time 10 minutes or below. The only time that I would want a video to be longer is, in a case where it's warranted, and I definitely believe, at least in my case, that, I want I feel like the weight loss thing or the lackluster results definitely deserve a longer video. So that's it. Looking forward to some additional changes with my YouTube channel. So you guys may see me a bit earlier in the morning recording. One thing that you will also probably not see as often, I'm still in debate about whether or not I should post the tweets. I feel like those tweets are sometimes, because the whole purpose of the tweets and the YouTube post is to capture me getting up early, right? And I use the YouTube post thing as a way to just add more content for you guys. So more than likely what will happen is just I will use my Twitter, and I realized as well that I have not been consistently posting my YouTube videos, because what I'm doing now for quite a few videos actually is I am publishing the videos through the third-party recording software, and then and then adding details like the tags and stuff later on. And so as a consequence, it doesn't really have that feature where I can, the way that YouTube does, because I used to download my videos and then upload them to YouTube. So this whole process just skips that, and the videos are just simply uploaded to YouTube as soon as possible. So anyway, I am looking forward to using a combination of the these Fitbit steps, as well as ideally, right? So if it says between 5 and 5:15, it would be nice if I can capture video where it's like maybe 9:10. Like if it says 9:10 here, right? If it says like 9:10, then you guys are like, oh, okay, well, it looks like he got up sometime in between 5 and 5:10. So it'll be a much it'll be a more reliable indicator. But I'm still in debate as to whether or not I should continue doing the tweets. Frankly, I definitely feel like tweets, just looking for a tweet, or like looking for an image to post. I mean, before I used to try to look for a quote, like an actual quote from someone, but now I've just pretty much done tweets that I figure are more emotional, because there are only so many emotional quotes out there. But just posting some more generic ones and some specific quotes. I do know that there was one by Nelson Mandela that I included, a really good motivational quote there. But I'm just trying to figure out what the value would be in the Twitter. I do want to keep a record of things. So what I may end up doing instead is just merely keeping, because I know that some people will want to look at a lot of what I'm doing now, which is the past, right? I am using these first stage videos, right? The stage 1 videos as more of like an archive, right? Something that I can look back on, something that you guys can look back on, something that my children, my nieces and nephews can look back on and just, examine my journey, and how I navigated, improving my money, my mind, my muscles, right, my body, just improving myself as a person in all those 3 dimensions. So for me, at this stage, right, stage 1 of the YouTube channel here is to capture history. This is not real. That's why you guys really haven't noticed a lot of the sort of content like, the listicles, right? It's because I'm trying to focus more on this being more of like a public diary in a way, right? Like a public journal, right? There will be a point in time where I will have much more informative content, right? Something like more news that you can use. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on a system that works. And when this system works, I can, I want to pursue an actual career as a YouTuber. Like, I want to first heal myself across those 3 dimensions as much as possible, right? I mean, of course, I'm better in other dimensions than others, right? I would consider the money part to be my strongest part, but there's still room for improvement there, in my opinion, before I would want to take on, sort of a leader or guru role, right? The muscles, definitely room for improvement there. The mindset, there's improvement there as well. And so I want to heal myself and then teach others how to do the same. I want to be of service to others, right? And so I feel like, these videos should be focused on capturing that journey. These videos should be focused on capturing the healing process. I don't want to come off at all as preachy, right? Which some of those listicle videos could be considered that way, despite them being from, a perspective of this is how I did things versus this is what you should do, right? But yeah, so I'm calling into question the utility, perhaps not of Twitter, but of the quotes. So there's definitely value as a archive, right, on Twitter by posting those YouTubes. And so I'll just say the tentative course of action is to no longer do the tweets. So my daily wake up in service, my daily wake up of service and gratitude, right, and doing for others is going to be captured almost entirely by my YouTube posts, right? And obviously posting those YouTube posts, my YouTube posts. By my YouTube posts, I mean my YouTube videos. And then obviously sharing those YouTube videos on Twitter. So that's going to be I'm going to consider that to be my daily gratitude and service, right, for you guys. So something else that so that's going to be one thing. Another thing is that you will see our actual YouTube posts. So that will be my week. That will never stop. I will continue posting those pictures every week on Twitter and YouTube posts, and I'll obviously go over that to some extent in a much lighter capacity, right, than this video, but that'll be like a minute or two in the first video, in the first video of the week. So, or maybe not the first video. I guess that would be this. Would that be the first video of the week? No, it would be the second video of the week, right? Because I'm capturing the days after they've already occurred, right? So, yeah, this is a very long video. This may be my longest video yet. But yeah, I mean, we're going over a lot of heavy content here. We're talking big content changes. We're talking first lackluster, disappointed, and sort of disappointment in terms of weight loss goals. We're going over, finality over the knee recovery. So yeah, I consider this to be 3 videos in one essentially. So that's pretty much it. I think we covered everything, content changes, stuff like that. So no more motivational quotes. The only things you guys are going to see are my YouTube videos and my weekly weigh-ins, which is tentative, right? I may still do motivational quotes and stuff like that, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it. There's probably like a 5% chance I will do them, after today. But yeah, that's how much of an unlikelihood it is. Anyway, thank you. Really do appreciate you guys, especially if you stayed on this long. Looking forward to the next video.